Hello. How much protein do you really need? Does it change as you get older? Today we are going to talk about how much and when you should get your protein intake. Every organ in your body needs protein to function, even the brain, even if you don't exercise. So how much protein do you really need? Protein should account for 10 to 35% of your calories. So if your daily needs are 2,000 calories, that's 200 to 700 calories just from protein, or 50 to 175 grams. If you're an average adult, the recommended dietary allowance to prevent deficiency for an average person that doesn't exercise is about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Or like a person who weighs 165 pounds or 75 kilograms, they should consume 60 grams of protein per day. So now remember, that's if you don't exercise. That's just what your body requires to function every day on an efficient basis. So when you get older, if you're over the ages of 40 to 50, losing muscle mass as you age begins to start setting in if you're not exercising and have been maintaining. To prevent this and maintain your independence and quality of life, your protein needs to increase to about 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram, or 75 to 90 grams per day for a 175 pound person. So now, if you exercise on a regular basis, you have higher needs. Your protein intake should go up regardless of age. So if you are consistently exercising at a gym and working out on every day, or almost every day, you should consume about 1.1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram. So people who regularly lift weights or are training for a running or cycling event need to consume 1.2 to 1.7 grams per kilogram. Now also remember, excessive protein intake would be more than 2 grams per kilogram of body weight each day. Now what happens if you're overweight? Well, if you're overweight, you should be adjusted before calculating your protein needs to avoid overestimation. And a dietitian can help you with this calculation and develop a personalized plan. Consulting with a dietitian is also a good idea if you're underweight or on a weight loss medication. There's also some ways to calculate this online, and you can also consult dietitians online, and it might be a little cheaper for you and cost efficient. So where should you get your protein from? Well, some of the healthiest protein options are egg whites. In fact, egg whites are number one on the list. They're through the roof on protein. Then fish, seafood, lean meats such as skinless white meat, chicken or turkey, low-fat dairy, plant sources such as soy, nuts, seeds, beans, and lentils. You should also try to meet all your dietary protein needs with these whole foods instead of supplements. But yes, you can use protein shakes or protein powder. I would just recommend the isolate whey protein. Plant-based vegetarian protein is actually harder for your body to convert and digest. The whey protein, especially the isolate, is a lot more efficient and you get more out of it. So when is the best time to consume protein? Well, it's better to spread it out throughout the day and try to do that evenly. On average, people get the most out of their protein from evening meals and the least from breakfast. And some newer studies show that moving some protein from supper to breakfast can help with weight management by decreasing hunger and cravings throughout the day, because it takes more energy to digest protein than other foods, and it makes you feel fuller longer. So, but now on that study, more research is still needed. So these claims have not been verified with another study yet, or even a prolonged study. These are just preliminary findings. So general recommendations are to consume 15 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. Studies show that higher intakes in one sitting, like more than 40 grams, are no more beneficial than consuming the recommended 15 to 30 grams at one time. So you don't need to waste your money on more protein than you need. Now, there was a study done last year, and I think that they're trying to replicate it this year, that showed that an average person could consume up to 50 grams of protein at one time, and your body would absorb it and not convert it to fat. But your body will consume excess protein and turn it into fat. So you might as well just like try to stick to that max of 30 grams per meal to try to restrict the amount of conversion to fat. So what do you look for if you're going to take a protein supplement like a protein powder for a shake? You want to look for 2 grams or less of saturated fat, 5 grams of sugar or fewer, about 200 or fewer calories per serving, and no trans fat or partially hydrogenated oils. So if you're going to get your protein from foods, what would that look like? Well, for example, an average sized banana, Greek yogurt, a hard-boiled egg has 19 grams of protein. A 3-ounce chicken breast with half a cup of rice and some vegetables amounts to 25 grams of protein. An egg and bean burrito with a glass of milk is about 28 grams of protein. So as you can see, getting the recommended 15 to 30 grams per meal is easy. Most people, even athletes, can meet their protein needs by including a serving of dairy at each meal and a piece of meat the size of a deck of cards at lunch and supper. So protein should always be accompanied with fruits and vegetables and whole grains and not make up your entire meal. If you feel you need more protein, consider adding more beans, lentils, soy, or seafood rather than processed supplements. So I hope this helps and have a good intake on how you should be taking your protein and how much. Now also remember, if you are getting into actually adding more muscle mass on a serious basis, then the standard is about 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound. And that's for both men and women. And another side note on that is when you're first starting your fitness journey and you're trying to lose weight, that is actually when you can lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. If you're already in reasonably good shape and have been working out, when you try to slim down and lean out, you can still add muscle, but it's going to be very difficult. You're not going to do it like you have the opportunity when you're just first starting. So anyway, hope that helps. If you guys got any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'll monitor the comments and I'll reply. So again, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. And if you could, please give a like and a subscribe. Thank you. Bye.